You know, Robert, the last time you were on this podcast, you were not a big fan of Adrian's
Attire?
outfit.
That's true. He got a lot of heat from that.
He
What?
did.
Yeah. From who?
From everybody.
Oh, come
But
on,
now
man.
I think nice.
Tyler
I think
agreed.
He's done a nice job.
Come on, man. I love my hoodies and I love my shoes. What do you want me to do?
You were wearing shorts that day.
Well, I love my shorts too, but it's too cold for shorts.
Those legs are not ready for prime time.
Adrian, I love your shoes, though.
I
love your
appreciate it,
shoes.
man.
Those
It's almost playoff time, so there you
What,
go.
Yeah.
what brand of shoes was
This
that? be?
is the Jordan 13 playoffs.
Yeah, not impressed.
Oh,
I'm a fan, Adrian. You
I
got
appreciate
my
it.
vote right there. And welcome to the Cover Cal High podcast. I'm your host, Jake Vanderbrook, alongside Robert Braunstein and Adrian Soriano. So week 9 in the books, we now jump to week 10, double digits now. And so we're going to go through some scores real quick, starting out in the Peninsula Bay Division with Menlo Atherton beating Palo Alto 27-13, while Los Gatos was able to roll past Menlo, winning 38-0.
all right, Robert.
That's a nice win from Menlo Atherton. Do I read the next two?
Yeah, you do
Is that
read
what
the
you're
next
saying?
two. Yeah, we go through
Why
these
do
scores.
people never tell me anything? You got to.
But it's in the rundown,
It's in the
though.
rundown.
Where does it say Robert?
If you
After-
Oh,
go
it does.
to-
It does say Robert.
Yeah.
I am completely wrong on that. All right, Sacred Heart Cathedral against St. Francis. That was a big win for the Lancers, as expected. Sarah beat Bellarmine, as expected. And then it says Adrian.
Okay, so, hey, Reardon finally back in the win column.
Yeah.
40
Back-to-back wins for those
Was it
Crusaders.
42-13 over Midi. And then I was at this game. 35-9, Bishop O'Dowd over Moreau Catholic.
Our scheduler thought it was going to be a close game.
Well,
Who's the
none of our
schedule- who
games
does the
last week.
schedule?
That would be Adrian Soriano.
Well, none of our games were close. But hey, shout out to
One
Brandon.
game was close.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Barn burner.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Brandon, the dancing ref A.
Brandon Mason.
Yeah.
We were dancing a little bit.
He was. We'll get him again in basketball season.
Okay.
Big bounce back win for those ugly Eagles from Clayton Valley. They were able to beat Camp Lindo 20-12. And then we had a really exciting East Bay League showdown. San Ramon Valley getting the job done, beating Amador Valley 29-28.
Yeah, Amador Valley's for real.
They are.
They're a good team. And that Amador Valley Cal game, that's going to be one to watch
Yep.
later on in the season. That'll be a good one. They are a good team. Las Lomas, also a very good team, 23-8 over Miramonte. And Benicia beat Alhambra 20-17 in another close game that we didn't get.
Well, you know what? Chalk went up to the loss column for me on that one, unfortunately. Respectfully. But anyway, all right. St. Patrick, St. Vincent, 21-18 over Kennedy of Richmond. Not Kennedy of Fremont, Kennedy of Richmond. And then Mount Diablo. Shout out to the Red Devils in Mount Diablo. Not only did they win big, 49-0 over Berean Christian, it's their first league title of any league title in like 62 years.
That's exciting. And what better way to go out with some fireworks at the end?
You know, they were listening.
They were ready.
They were ready.
Yeah,
They
ready
were
for the win.
ready.
They were confident.
Aubrey was at that game, I
Yep.
believe, and that's pretty cool. That's a great way. It felt like they won the Super Bowl, and you see the fireworks up in the air. And
I think they took my term offensive fireworks literally because it was a
Yeah.
lot of offense and a lot of fireworks.
yeah, I mentioned that to you
So-
Friday. It's like
Yeah.
maybe they did watch the podcast, and they were like, "Hey, offensive fireworks that came from Adrian." Yeah, well,
People watch this podcast?
they do.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I need to do better then.
Well, everyone in Bishop O'Dowd watches it. They were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, man, we listen to the podcast, man. You know, they pay attention, man."
They pay attention, and they were
Appreciate
paying
it.
attention to the crumble box.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. One of the players was like, "Hey, so do we all get a crumble cookie?" I'm like, "No, it's only for the MVP." But you know, he's probably gonna share it with you guys. So you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
Yeah.
were excited.
So we're going to recap some games now, and this was a pretty good game. Out in the Peninsula Ocean Division, Half Moon Bay, San Mateo, those Bearcats remain unbeaten in league play, beating Half Moon Bay 30-20. Now, in the beginning of this game, I had my stand up and I was like, thank goodness I have my running shoes. And I did like the biggest kick, like I was going to audition for the Gold Rush, but I'm not. But
Thank goodness
anyways,
for that. We do not want to see Jake in that outfit.
but anyways, we expected a lot of run heavy, ground and pound, and first play of offense for those Bearcats, Cameron Palma, shout out to him. He's like, hey, man, enough with your scouting report. I'm going to make a play with my arm. And he did exactly that. In fact, he had 2 touchdown passes. He ran the ball a little bit. Emmanuel Fitzgerald also had a great game on the ground, who also had a rushing touchdown in the victory. And then, Adler Halterman for Half Moon Bay. That's just a kid that is a grinder. He's a workhorse for those Cougars. He plays on both sides of the ball, and he really brings the physicality. And when you have a guy that is literally leading the way, and 3 touchdowns, he kept this team in the game. So Half Moon Bay is going to be all right. That's back-to-back losses for those Cougars, but I think they're going to figure it out, and they'll put it together come playoff time.
Yeah, San Mateo, always a well-coached team.
Yes, they are.
A great head coach, and they, they're going to come out and play well. But this year they've got some talent to go along with that.
Yes, they do.
They're looking really good.
They do, and I was talking about this last week, and with how they utilize their offense for both Half Moon Bay and San Mateo. You just don't know where the ball's going to go. Is it going to be a quarterback keeper? It could go to the fullback. It could go to the running back, and you just don't know where the ball's going to go. And like from when you're shooting 25 yards past the, ahead of the line of scrimmage, it's like, okay, I need to shoot wide because there could be an explosive play up the middle. Yep. And And that's what happened with some of those plays. So you just never know where the ball's going to go to for both of those sides. But again, it was a great game, a great win for San Mateo, winning on its home field. And, now they move forward.
All right, can I go to my game now?
Yes, you can.
Valley Christian and St. Ignatius, really exciting game. Get to the field early. St. Ignatius comes out in these all-black uniforms, which Jake didn't like, but I thought they were
that was nice.
I thought they were really cool.
And we
posted
Valley.
that on Instagram, and we know Nikon never likes to use my posts, but he used this one, and it's got like 100,000 views, and people were interested in the black uniform, so that psyched him up. And I was joking with Eric Scherenberg, the defensive coordinator for Valley Christian, before the game. I said, "Are you intimidated by those?" He said, "Oh yeah, that's very intimidating." but Valley Christian came out and scored 2 touchdowns in the first half, both on long pass plays, 48 yards, 49-yard pass plays. And it looked like a Valley Christian night, took a lead to halftime. But St. Ignatius is that second-half team, and they keep coming back in these games. And they just have that huge offensive line. John Mills is a mountain of a man going to Texas next year. Terrific offensive lineman, and did a great job all game long. And they came back, and they were able to stop the Valley Christian running game and defensively, and that was a big difference in that game. And so SI gets a big win after losing to St. Francis, and now kind of back in that title hunt.
Well,
it'll be interesting to see.
So wait a minute. So Valley Christian passed the ball.
They did.
So they didn't do what they didn't run the ball.
They tried and tried, and they just could not get their running game going. Credit to the SI.
I mean, once you figure out, their go-to weapon on offense, you got to change it up somehow, Yeah. And, with St. Ignatius, second half team, we talked about it, they beat Sarah, fourth quarter, crazy comeback.
Reardon.
They pulled it together against Reardon, second half comeback.
Yeah.
And now they do it again against Valley Christian. Yeah. Unbelievable.
And a shout out to Tyran Hicks, who had a touchdown catch on offense and then had a really nice pick to seal the deal for the defense in that game. A great interception for him. Had a terrific game, and that ended it. Valley was driving and could have taken the lead, but Hicks prevented that from happening. Good play.
So do you think SI will have the blue uniforms now?
The all blue?
Yeah,
like
the all blue.
Like the old Boise State football field?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
I thought for a second, like, is that Clayton Valley? Because like all the black, like all black. I'm like, oh wait, no, that has to be SI. So, but hey,
Yeah,
we
and
could.
and
go ahead.
Soren Hummel, just knows how to win. He's good quarterback, and he's a winner.
Yeah. Yep. But why do they keep changing the kickoff times? 4:30, 5:30, 7 o'clock.
Well, you gotta,
What's up with these
you
neighbors?
got to consult the neighborhood. Whatever the neighbors say is okay is okay. That was a strange one. It was senior day. We had a great shot of John Mills coming out, all painted, his face painted with his family out there and everything. So it was something that was going to be a little longer intro and all that as well. But I don't know if that had anything to do with the game time because previously they changed it to 7. It's tough from a shooting standpoint because we have to shoot on the Valley Christian side. We like to shoot on the home team side when we shoot these games.
Yep.
But I had to shoot on the Valley Christian side because you got to have the sun behind you, and the sun
Right.
was in the face of the SI sideline.
It's going to be interesting come playoff time. Are we going to have a set time for those if SI
No, it's at
is
night.
home?
I think it's probably gonna be
Okay.
at night.
So
or-
there's no.
But there will be Saturday afternoon games.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you think there's going to be some debacle with the neighbors and
Well, I mean, it's playoffs, man.
you,
Let the
know what
kids
I
play.
mean?
Well, think interesting
You
because
never know.
I think
With
the
the
kids
neighbors.
deserve the Friday night lights.
Let
they
the kids
deserve.
play, Jake.
Exactly.
Let 'em
That's what
play.
I'm saying.
well, it's interesting because last year when they hosted their 2 playoff games, they were both on Friday and they were both at 7. So, we'll see what happens. But for Valley, oh boy, now they're playing the role spoiler because they beat St. Francis on Friday, and Jake, you're gonna be at that game.
Yeah.
We're gonna have chaos again on the
will.
polls.
And they have Sarah also still.
So
And
there
that
you
game's
go.
at Valley Christian.
The game's at Valley Christian.
That is, that's a big game. Because
It is.
After that, they have to go up against Sarah, and Sarah is starting to put it together. Big 2 weeks in the regular season
Yeah.
left for those Valley Christian Warriors. So
Yeah.
let's see how they're going to respond.
It's a very tough 3 games in a row.
Yep. Very tough. Very tough. Let's go over to our previews now. Peninsula Bay Division, and this is always a fun game. It was a fun regular season game last year. These two teams played each other in the CCS D1 title game. Wilcox, Los Gatos. Always a fun matchup.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. Wilcox is always going to run the ball, misdirection stuff.
The veer?
Trying to figure out where the ball is. I always say when I shoot Wilcox, just shoot the middle of the line, and at some point somebody's going to come through. You don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to be somebody. And then with Los Gatos, Scotty Brennan in that group. I don't know if Scotty's been. Has he been offered by Arizona yet?
I don't believe so.
You would think that would be coming.
You would think.
That's at some point with his dad as the head coach
Right.
at Arizona.
Well,
But-
sorry about that. But
go ahead.
hey, you know what? These two teams, man, they know each other so well, right? Even before the Peninsula and Santa Clara Valley merged for football, these two teams have been playing each other every year for years. So, hey, man, no love lost between these two teams, man. I'm not gonna say it's a barn burner, and I'm not gonna say it's offensive fireworks either. I think it's gonna be a very, very low-scoring defensive game.
I can see that. So Los Gatos, keep in mind, they love to run the 2-quarterback system with Scotty Brennan and Colin Schweitzer. They're still going to do that. I have a feeling they're going to do that on Friday against Wilcox. And then Grayson Doslak, he's doing a great job running the ball. 9 total touchdowns on the year. And then for Wilcox, I mean, a guy that's all over the field, offensively, defensively, it's Braden Rosa. He leads the team with, I believe, 66 total tackles, and he's got 17 total touchdowns on the season thus far. So that's going to be a player that is going to, look to lead the way for those Chargers.
And 2 of the best head coaches in the Bay Area for
Yep.
many years, Paul Rosa. Well, I don't know if he's got any more kids that he's making out there to keep.
Well, there's
to keep-
Braden.
Yeah, we got Braden. You have any more after that? He's got to make some more to keep the roster filled up with great
Right.
players. And then Mark Crail, of course, with Los Gatos, has been there for many years and has done a great job there. Previously at Pioneer and Santa Clara for a little bit, and but at Los Gatos now for many years, doing a great job.
Yep, should be a fun one. 7 p.m. Friday kickoff. Next up, we got a big Saturday game in Kentfield, and I think it's going to be packed. You know,
Oh, you
whenever
know
you
what?
have a big game like this, you know, Marin Catholic, they're gonna pack the stands.
And Adrian volunteered to take the drive.
Right here, right here. Well, you know what?
It's a great game. I don't blame
Not
them.
only is it a great game, these two teams have history with each other as well.
Yes,
they
they do.
played in the section final game like what? The past 2 or 3 years, I
Yeah.
think. So again, a lot of history between these two teams, and you know the brand new Redwood Empire League just for football. I think, you know, this is going to decide who wins the league championship.
Yep.
And like you said, Jake, it's gonna be packed. If Marin Catholic can, you know, hook it up with a parking spot,
yeah.
that would be great. You know, that would be really, really great.
Yeah, you got to get there a few hours early if you
Oh,
want
I'll
a
get there
parking
early.
spot, because I have a good feeling they're going to have JV ball just before the varsity game.
Oh,
Keep that in mind.
That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot there was JV.
Yeah, because that was the case last year when I went out there for that big San Marin Catholic game, and that was our Chick-fil-A game
Yep.
last year. And I remember I had to show up at like 10 o'clock, and it was packed. It was
Wait,
packed with
10
people.
a.m.
10 a.m.
at Marin Catholic?
Yeah, Marin Catholic. It was packed.
You know, you might be able to make a phone call and talk to somebody.
Well,
get you a parking
I'll
spot.
you know I'll hit him up, but you know I was planning to get some Jordans on Saturday. It looks like that's not gonna happen.
You could do it after the game.
It's
Yeah.
Priorities, Adrian.
Yep, priorities. But this is going to be a very fun game. And Cardinal Newman, they are one of the hottest teams
Yep.
right now. 8-0, but it's always Marin Catholic that gets into the way, you know, year after year after year. So, Adrian, what is it going to take for Cardinal Newman to take down this amazing Wildcat squad out in Kentfield?
You know, they just got to play their game, man. Play their game and make some stops on defense. That's all they got to do, right? Like I said, a lot of history between these two teams. Both of these teams know each other so well, right? You know, for me, you know, looking into this league, I felt like, you know, these two teams were going to be in a collision course to play each other for the league title. And guess what? Here we are,
Yep.
right? Week 10, and they're playing for the league title. So, you know, hey, I'm excited. It's a Crumble Cookies game of the week.
Yeah.
I'm sure the boys are going to be excited. I hope. You know, it's cookies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Adrian's been looking at this game for a long time.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, no.
Now it's
absolutely.
here.
Yeah, I mean, and Cardinal Newman, they're rolling with a freshman quarterback named Tino Redamosa. 13 touchdown passes on the year, just over 1,000 passing yards. And they can also run the ball with Jamari Gentry, a senior, 784 rushing yards with 7 touchdowns. So it's going to be very important, you know, to get that offensive attack going early if they want to, you know, quiet this crowd down.
Yeah, it's gonna be ruckus.
Robert, you covered Marin Catholic. No, that was Aubrey that covered
was
Marin
Aubrey, yeah.
Catholic. But I know for a fact, you know, it's always run and pass. I mean, they're
Yeah.
very balanced. I feel like both teams are very balanced. So I feel like this is one of those games where who's going to set the tone early, and can they
Exactly.
carry that the rest of the way?
And will that home field advantage be a difference?
Right. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is my first time going to Marin in like 7 years.
It's a great environment
Well,
over
you
there.
know,
It is. It's a great.
The
school.
only time I went there was for a basketball game, and this is my fault. Robert, I don't know if you remember. So I went to SI for basketball against St. Francis with Logan Johnson. Got there, no game. Called Robert. I'm like, Robert, I think the game happened yesterday, and man, that was the only time Robert got mad at me. And, you know, I ended up going to Marin Catholic, and turns out, and it was a good game, but, you know, that was a lesson for me early on. So,
Yep. Yep. And you know, we also are going to see Marin Catholic come playoff time for volleyball, and
Yeah.
obviously they are in our poll.
yep.
And Adrian, let's run through the volleyball poll.
All right, so here we go. Well, the NCS playoff brackets came out
Yes, they did.
yesterday, so you know we'll go through that as we go through the poll. Branson is still number one, man. Branson's still number one. They won their league tournament. They beat Marin Catholic in 3 sets, and they are the number 1 seed in the NCS Open Division. So the NCS has an Open Division playoff bracket now. Midi number 2 only played 1 game. They beat Valley Christian. They're playing Sacred Heart Cathedral, I think tomorrow, and they can clinch a share of the league title by beating Sacred Heart Cathedral, but they can be outright champions if our number 3 team, St. Francis, who also beat Valley last week,
Yep.
loses to Reardon on the road tomorrow. So, again, also same thing for St. Francis. They can clinch a share with the win. They can be outright champions if Midi loses to Sacred Heart Cathedral, which,
Understood.
unlikely. It's probably going to be co-champions in the West Catholic League, but we've seen crazy things happen before. James Logan, our number 4 team still. They won the Mission Valley League title without, I think they did not lose a set in league. So,
They
undefeated in
didn't.
league.
That's pretty impressive.
very
That's really
impressive.
hard to do. If you think
It is.
about it, I mean, you could just have one bad set and momentum can,
Exactly.
take a turn like that.
And we saw that with Mercy Sacred Heart Prep last week, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Logan, they are the number 3 seed in the NCS Open Division. Robert, you're going to be at that game.
That's my game. Logan and Carondelet.
Yep.
Remember, Carondelet has Leo Lopez's daughter
Yep.
plays for Carondelet, the athletic director at De La Salle.
Great setter.
She is, yeah, outstanding player, and that's going to be a battle for Logan. That should be, the seedings are a little bit different, but
Yeah.
that should be a very competitive match.
And we'll get to Carondelet in just a moment. Marin Catholic, number 5. They were the runner-ups of the Marin County League tournament, and they are the number 2 seed in the Open Division. Redwood lost to Marin Catholic in the semifinal round of their league tournament last week. They are the number 5 seed, and they are traveling to Foothill. Another good game over there in Pleasanton, right?
Yep.
In the Open Division. All right, so Foothill, number 7. They won the East Bay League tournament.
Beat Carondelet.
They beat Carondelet in the semifinal round, and they beat San Ramon Valley again in
5
sets.
Yeah.
So, and they're the number 4 seed in the Open Division. They're playing Redwood. Amador Valley lost in the semifinal round to San Ramon Valley. They are the number 5 seed in the Division 1 bracket. They are playing Petaluma. And number 9, San Ramon Valley, who was the runner-up of the East Bay League tournament. They are the number 1 seed in the NCS Division 1. Right, so that right there tells you, right?
Yep.
So Carondelet, number 10. So it's interesting, right? Lost to Foothill in the semifinal round, but they are the number 6 seed in the NCS Open Division against Logan.
But San Ramon Valley beat Amador Valley.
That's a good point. I think I made a mistake then. Uh-oh.
Change it.
All right, well, we're making the first time in history. We're making a live change. SRV 8, Amador Valley 9.
There you go.
There you go.
But it just shows you all of those teams from the East Bay League.
All
Such
good,
a
all good
competitive
teams.
league.
And you
beating-
never know what to expect. I've been
Them
saying
beating
it
up
all
each other.
season long.
But, it's interesting, though, that they put Carondelet in the Open Division as the 6th seed. And SRV, who beat Carondelet, right? They beat Carondelet in Carondelet. And they made it to the NCS, not NCS. They made it to the East
tournament
Bay League
final.
tournament final.
Yep.
They lost in 5, and they're the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah, very interesting on how the brackets, have shaped up to be. But I will say this, though, just to confirm, Adrian, if you're in the Open, does that mean you get an automatic bid for NorCal?
I think so. I mean, for the CCS, yes.
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know because sometimes with the vary of sports, it could change over time. So I wanted to confirm because this is the first year that the NCS has implemented a open division bracket. So I had to ask that question.
Yeah. I was talking to Leo Lopez about that and talking about his daughter's volleyball at the De La Salle Hall of Fame, which I was at on Saturday. And he was saying, that strategically it's tough because if you are in the open, then you're going to NorCal. But if you're D1, you don't know that you're going to NorCal.
No, you got to be deep,
and you got to win the games. Where in the open, you don't necessarily have to win to advance. And then NorCal comes, and you could be seated anywhere, even though you were open previously.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of strategy that goes along with that. And I'll always say, tell me what the matchups are. And
Because
we'll
I'm
decide who
thinking to
we're gonna shoot.
myself, so why is Foothill? They just won the tournament title.
Yeah.
They were pretty high up there in the East Bay League regular season standings. And I'm thinking to myself, wait, why are they number 4 in the Open? I kind of felt like that was a penalty. And then I'm like to myself, oh wait, I'm pretty sure
they go
you
to
get
got
an
it right.
automatic bid in NorCal.
And what happens too is that these teams in the East Bay League, they've been beaten up on each other.
Right.
And James Logan hasn't been playing nearly as tough a competition. Now they got to go against Carondelet, who is battle tested and ready to go. And that's a rough matchup for Logan.
I mean,
as a third seed.
I mean, to be fair, though, Logan has played a couple tough tournaments. One in Arizona, one in Vegas, and obviously,
Yep.
the big difference was they beat Foothill in 5 sets earlier this year, so that's why they were seeded over Foothill. But you look at the top 3 teams. Can you put Logan? Can you put Foothill over those 3 teams? Maybe Redwood, but you can't really put them over those three teams in the Marin County League. They're
And then
all good teams too.
And the other thing that you see that happens is once the sections are done and you go into NorCals, the teams from the West Catholic League then come into play.
Yeah.
And and then that's the old battle. Is the West Catholic League, the top teams in the West Catholic League, are they better than the top teams in the East Bay League? And you find that out once you hit NorCal.
Yep. And over time, we've seen that be the case.
Yeah.
And going back to James Logan, at least they're home for this game against
It is,
Carondelet.
yeah.
So
So like I said, hey, this is why Robert pays me the big bucks, man. To really, I mean, it's so tough to choose between Foothill, Redwood, and Logan and Carondelet. But I felt like this is a big test for Logan, and it's kind of my fault that I was kind of hyping him up all year. So here we go. Let's see what you girls really do now.
I'm excited
against
for that one. I think that's going to be a great match.
Robert, that's why I gave you the game.
Logan and Carondelet.
that's going to go to 4 or 5 sets.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Over now to our football poll. I'm trying to see if there's a lot of changes on this.
Oh, there's a few. There's a few changes.
Yeah, just a few.
There's a few changes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with that SI Valley Christian matchup from last Friday, I believe St. Francis. Nope, they stayed at number 3. But go through the list, Age.
All right. Well, De La Salle still number 1. Barn Burner against Monte Vista, 42-7. Now they're playing on the road.
Yeah,
road.
they were on they showed some highlights of their victory over Monte Vista on the Sunday night football.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like,
yeah.
wow, they chose the De La Salle game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who decided that?
That's probably NBC.
No.
NBC.
Probably. Yeah, well,
So here's a question, Adrian. De La Salle's number 1 playing number 8 Cal this week.
yes.
Why are we not shooting that game?
I mean, it's gonna be a blowout.
Oh,
unfortunately.
man.
Yes, right. I'm making my prediction, but we can talk about this in our meeting. We can change the schedule.
You don't want to talk about it here? With
Sure, I
people
mean-
actually listening?
Oh, Nikon was about to snooze.
Our
but-
producer's not happy about this conversation at all. He turned his back on it.
I was gonna
Well,
say it's not allergy season,
You
man.
can probably fit it in over another game. So.
We will definitely get Cal and
All right.
Amador next week.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that'll be good.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go. From our executive producer. So there you go. It's
Made
on
a
the
big
schedule already.
Executive decision.
Anyway, Pittsburgh number 2, another barn burner against Liberty. No disrespect to those Lions, man, but 47-15, and now Pittsburgh will have another barn burner this week at Deer Valley.
Ooh.
Another barn burner. St. Francis number 3, they beat Sacred Heart Cathedral 49-24. And now they are on the road at Valley Christian. That big game, man. Jake, I'm jealous. That's your game. I'm jealous.
It's gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be a fun WCAL showdown. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a physical game, and let's see if Valley Christian can bounce back.
Will they have tri-tip? Probably. They haven't had tri-tip.
They've
this
had the
year.
food trucks apparently. I mean, we went over this our last show.
Yeah.
I didn't vote for that.
Oh.
I want the tri-tip back.
But we'll have Chick-fil-A there, so it'll be good.
Yep, it will be
Yeah.
the Chick-fil-A game, and we'll take care of the logistics before that game. So, Cardinal Newman number 4, another barn burner. They beat San Marin 31-3, and now they're on the road against Marin Catholic, which I will be at that game.
That was the game that I was like, dang, Cardinal Newman's legit.
I mean, I can't wait for this. I cannot wait. Can it just be Saturday already? I can't wait for this game. SRV number 5, like we mentioned earlier, they beat Amador Valley 29-28, and they're now in a bye week, so a week to really rest up before their rivalry game against Monte Vista in the last week of the season. So, another big game, man, for SRV. Not for league, but, just the rivalry and all that stuff. Number 6, Los Gatos. They beat Menlo, and they're playing Wilcox. SI at number 7. So they went up after beating Val Christian. Those cardiac cats, man. And now, Jake, I'm pretty sure you're going to like this. They're not really at home, but it is the Bruce Mahoney game at Kezar against Sacred Cathedral. 5 p.m. Do you like the game time, 5 p.m.?
5 p.m. at Kezar?
It's at Kezar. Not really good parking, though.
Yeah, parking there is a little
It's
bit
bad.
iffy. It's a bit iffy. Yeah,
Yep.
no, I'm okay with that.
Okay. Cal, number 8. They're coming off a bye week last week, and they're playing De La Salle at home. Marin Catholic, number 9. Another barn burner. They beat Rancho Cotati 30-0. They're now hosting Cardinal Newman. And Val Christian goes down to number 10 after losing a tough one to St. Ignatius, and they're now hosting St. Francis. So, gentlemen, your thoughts?
I think it's a good poll. I'm looking forward to Jake's St. Francis Valley Christian game. Can I give you a family connection there?
Sure.
St. Francis with their guy Atamatau on the offensive line. Valley Christian with Champ Taulealea on the offensive line.
Yep.
They're cousins.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, they're cousins. They actually had a bunch of. They're from Salmoa, the family, and they had a bunch of guys that I'm told they were trying to get them all together and play on the same team. Could you imagine that? Those guys on the same team?
Wow.
But
Oh,
it
my
didn't work out, so they're now playing against each other this Friday.
Did they have anyone related to in Reardon?
Probably. I mean, the
there's
island
some-
community is very tight, and they've got a lot of talented players.
Yeah.
there. And Ata's dad sits down from me at the 49er game, so we talk St. Francis football every game.
Yep.
So we were talking about that
Yep.
when the Niners played the Cowboys.
Oh, man, that
Yep.
was a sweat.
Champ's going to Washington.
Right.
And
Ata's still undecided.
yeah, but he's got multiple
He does.
offers from Big 10, SEC, Big 12 schools.
Yeah.
So,
Both very talented guys.
yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be a great game.
Yeah. It'll be
Jake,
fun.
I'm jealous. Jake, do you want to switch games?
Where's your game Friday?
Oh, well, no. You
Oh,
can
you're not
have my-
shooting
you-
Friday.
No, I'm shooting Logan O'Dowd, man. Hey, first of all, I think somebody from O'Dowd was like, hey, man, you guys going to be here next week? We guys play. I was like, who you guys playing? Playing Logan. All right, I'll take a look. Took a look at the schedule. Oh, it's for first place. All right, it's on the schedule.
Yeah, Logan's starting to pick it up
Yeah.
in league.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I've got that big Pioneer Overfeld game. If one of you guys want to trade, that would be fine.
Oh, Nikon is
wants
interested. Nikon's interested because it's
Yeah.
Pioneer. So,
so I do have one question though.
okay.
So let's say Valley Christian loses this game to St. Francis.
Okay.
Is Sarah back in the poll? Sarah's starting to pick it up a bit.
Man, see, that's a
Sarah
tough
with
one.
losses to SI and St. Francis.
Yeah, I think
Two legit teams though.
man, that's a tough question. Maybe again, we'll see what happens
Yeah.
on Friday, right? We've seen crazy things happen before, but most likely yes, right? Sarah is back on the poll, right? And by the way, Gregory from West Coast Prep, shout out to him, man. He's just giving me
hard time.
a hard time because I didn't put Sarah on the poll and I took El Cerrito out, but it's tough, man. It's a tough job, let's just say.
I want to say this is probably the best poll we've had this season. So I give you crap every week, but this week I really like
Hey,
it.
you know
I
what?
agree with this poll.
It's
Yeah.
the greatest poll ever. The greatest poll in the
it's-
history of man. It's a great poll.
My week is made. It doesn't matter if the Yankees lose the World Series, man. I'm gonna be sad, but my week is made because Nikon officially approved these
Because
polls.
that means so much to you.
It means
I know.
so much to me.
Adrian puts his heart and soul.
That's
into
right.
This thing
My
every week.
heart.
Does a good job.
Yes, he does. It's going to be another fun, chaotic, exciting week. And appreciate you guys watching the
If you
Covered
see us
Cal
out
High
of the game,
podcast.
if you see us at the game, come by and say hi.
Oh, the Brandon Mason, the O'Dowd dancer, man, always says hi to me, man.
He's a good guy.
So-
Okay, and this is the part where I wrap up the show. It's starting to turn into a tradition. I say that you've been covered, and this
Uh-oh.
time I'm going to throw the paper ball. And that's all the time we have for you. Thank you for watching, and I think it's safe to say, and I'm going to try to make an accurate throw this time, you've been covered. We'll see you next time.
You missed it again.
I missed it.